Welcome to Too Long Didn't Read, or TLDR, where we're going to examine a few real estate articles that you were too busy to read. So the first one we're going to check out is this one here, where it talks about just how fast home prices were increasing year over year. And in Chicago, the number is 13% year over year. Now, why is that important? It's because in typical Chicago fashion, we didn't overreact quite as much as other major metropolitan areas like Seattle, Atlanta, Miami. So now as we're kind of shifting into a more buyer-friendly market, we're not going to adjust down quite as far. Our next article is this one, and I'm going to read it. It says, Chicago housing market among nation's most vulnerable to a possible recession. Now this article is just flat out bullshit. They're taking the 7 major counties of the Chicagoland area and bundling them all into one. What we're interested in is the Chicago metro neighborhoods, so the 77 neighborhoods. This article is talking about DeKalb, Lake County, etc., the McHenry County, these huge swaths of the state. Ultimately, what it's saying is that the jobless rates in these counties are slightly higher than the national average. Ignore this. Next up, we have this article titled 2 Reasons Why Today's Housing Market is Not in a Bubble. Reason number 1, low inventory. Reason number 2, the people who did get houses were qualified. Next article. Finally, we have this article from ABC7 News, a local news outlet that is talking about how the Chicago South Side market is doing particularly well. And ultimately, it's because homes are slightly more affordable on the South Side. And as people are getting priced out, some people became a little bit more open to moving further south, and they're seeing a little bit more demand. The end. So what's our takeaway with all of these articles? They're all super nuanced. Every single one of them uses a really catchy tagline, or maybe introducing a little bit of fear in their headline. But right now, the real estate market is way more boring than what news outlets are trying to make you think. Let's take a look at this article that was published on June 2nd by Redfin, the enemy, boo, cue the boos, where they're advising sellers to list sooner, faster, and for less money. And I have to say, I have to agree with Redfin. What sellers are gonna run into right now is that when their agent, and hopefully they're experienced, when their agent sends them comparable data on homes that have sold in the last 6 months, they're going to see prices and closings from one of the most seller-friendly times in the history of the United States. And guess what? Right now, that is not the case. Right now, if anything, we're leaning a little bit more buyer-friendly. Hey, sellers out there, it's not mid-2021. We are in July of 2022, and the data is saying that fewer buyers are out there. They are scared of this big word recession, even though it has nothing to do with housing, and they're being pushed out by rising interest rates. You are not going to get 15 offers all over list price. Now, this article is saying, what that really means is you're going to sell for less money. And what's going to happen in the market right now is that sellers are not going to want to hear that. Their agents are going to want the listing, so they are going to take it at whatever price the seller tells them to. And we're going to have inventory that's sitting on the market for a very long time, sellers who are going to be disgruntled because they're not getting the price that they want, or they're not getting any offers at all. And you're going to have buyers who are going to be upset because they're not going to be able to buy this home at the price that is frankly wrong. So we've been talking about this for probably 2 months if you look at videos past, but the tale of the second half of 2022 is a balancing act of sellers who are looking at data from 6 months ago, which is irrelevant, and buyers who are waiting for those sellers to come to their senses. And what this article is advocating for is stop wasting your time, sellers, price appropriately, price under what 6 months is telling you, so that you can sell your home.